Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of BYOB, in particular think tank, where we meet Gen Z leaders across the region, especially in Dubai, and have a free-flowing chat and see where things goes, right? For example, I met Daniel a year ago over chat and nothing transpired, but today we have him on a round table. And I just met Y on LinkedIn, I think the other day, I think it was through a referral, and I met Andal through LinkedIn as well. We just had a conversation, and I think that's one of the biggest conversations we want to talk about as well. How sometimes you need to go out of your way and force things to happen and literally make it happen, and then it'll happen. And I think LinkedIn is a great platform for that to meet people and whatnot. But this is episode 2, guys, and we're talking about tech entrepreneurship, talking about how you guys came about in your life, and the whole idea of this today's episode is to show our viewers and show the people that we're all essentially doing something of our own. And there is our own little journey and struggle and a little bit of a story to it. And we want to know a little bit about you guys as well. So, Daniel, we start with you, man. Why don't you let us know what is it you do and tell something unique about you that no one knows apart from your Ticket official brand. Yeah.
I'm a co-founder at Ticket. So what we do at Ticket is solve challenges that organizers would face, event organizers. Basically, our software it leverages AI to help them solve those problems. And attendees, we help them find events. Something unique about me, I don't know actually. I have a background in robotics engineering, and then I moved to entrepreneurship. But
Okay.
other than that, I guess.
Well, I just want to know what sparked up your startup idea.
So I was doing like brand activations for events like Jitex and stuff like that. So I had a bit of experience with events. My co-founder as well, he had in his network a bunch of people who do events, and we came back from a party one day, and we were just complaining about like the state of things, and we're like, bro, this is not that hard of a problem to solve. So 3 months, for 3 months we sat and we were just like actually proof testing it, like testing our concept out. And then we decided we'll go full time into this. So that's basically
So this whole idea sparked up from a party, like an after party.
basically, yeah.
That's good science.
It's a good sign as well.
It was a good party, man.
And I feel like Dubai, especially people our age, I would like to say we're all in our early 20s. I would like to say it's played safe, except you, I'm guessing, by your looks. So I think the whole idea of Dubai is very transient. I was just talking about it outside, where there are these micro communities, right? The reason why we have BYOB today is to kind of tap into different tiers of Dubai, because let's face it, let's take City Walk, let's take Karama, let's take downtown, right? There are three different level of people over there, and City Walk is like loud luxury, right? Then we got Karama, the proper hustle is you want good food, Karama is a spot, right? But how's your experience been so far in Dubai and kind of maneuvering your way through why and how's it been for you?
Before I even landed in Dubai, I got to know that I am going to Dubai like just a day ago. So honestly, I wasn't expecting anything because I had never, so I have like a very exhaustive travel list in Dubai. I was like never in this. So I had no expectations. I've never had family here as well. So I was like gonna see where it goes. I was, however, always intrigued by the startup ecosystem here because it's like growing and flourishing. Back home in India as well, I think something that's comparable is like Bangalore. I think you can relate to that
Yeah.
as well. So yeah, so I was like really in it to just for the experience of it. Never knew that I'd be here for quite a while now, 4 months. Yeah, so experience so far has been pretty interesting. There's definitely a huge growth towards young leaders as well as young entrepreneurs, finding their people here, finding their communities here. And there's like so much scope for tech enabled services here. So I'd say like there's no channels towards execution yet, but there's definitely channels towards people with ideation, people with coming up with this very transformative ideas, and also like serving towards industries that's something on a really, really valuable global scale.
100%. And I think, Andal, I think it's something you can talk about as well. I'm guessing by the looks of it, you've been in Bangalore before, right? Have you?
I'm from Bangalore
Okay,
actually.
sweet. And if you talk about the Bangalore ecosystem, right? I was talking to someone, Daniel, where they say that there's at least 5 startup idea brewing in every cafe in Bangalore. Compared to that scale to Dubai, like I'm not trying to compare because different caliber, different IP, different demographic, but still, like what do you think of the Dubai startup scene in your angle? And do you, if you compare it to these massive spaces like Silicon Valley and Bangalore, which is very far-fetched example, but what do you think of it though?
Actually, Dubai's startup ecosystem is the entire reason why I moved to the city. So I was born in Dubai, and I lived here until I was 13, 14 years old. Went back to Bangalore with my family, which is where
Okay.
I'm from. Did my law school from a place called OP Jindal Global University in Delhi. And it's known for having very tech and IP focused electives and specializations. And that's what I specialized in, technology and intellectual property law.
Okay.
So the reason why, after a few months of practicing in the Bangalore courts, I was actually an advocate for 6 to 7 months. I moved to Dubai is so the among the Middle East, and also, I mean, probably the entire world, Dubai is known for being revolutionary when it comes to regulating technology and technology-based companies. It has the first regulatory authority on virtual assets, VARA.
Okay.
But and like ADGM also followed. It's just UAE is a budding ecosystem for anything virtual assets, AI, anything emerging tech. Dubai definitely has a hustle atmosphere to it. It isn't a really focused city the way
It's not, right? Yeah.
it's not, but it's not surprising that it's becoming that, because they've always been forward in industries where the money is, and unfortunately that's where the money is right now. So I wouldn't say that Dubai is equivalent to Bangalore or San Francisco or Singapore, which are matured tech ecosystems. But Dubai is more exciting for startups because it's a budding one. So there's still space. There's still an opportunity to make your mark.
Okay.
Whereas the other cities could probably be a little too competitive for budding entrepreneurs.
100%. I feel like the whole drive is there. I think me and Hussein, we have multiple conversations about business ideas, man. You can probably let them know how our conversations go.
Multiple failed ideas as well, but that's how you get there, right? Like eventually, we even had a cafe at one point that we wanted to start.
Man, we wanted a catering idea, right? And
Catering.
then we realized we quickly realized the whole regulation and laws behind it, the permits, the different municipality things you need as well. But it's insane, man. Like, it didn't happen though, right?
It didn't happen yet, but we'll get there one day.
Too late.
It's never too late. We've got a lot of time. But just to break the ice further and just to get the minds running, we're gonna have a segment right now. It's called App or Flop. So I'm expecting you guys to ace this because it's your world, So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna present some wild mobile phone app ideas.
There we go.
But there's a twist. Some of these apps are real and some I just made up last night. Okay, so it's up to you guys to figure out which app is real and which you can literally go on App Store or Play Store, find it right now, or which is just completely fabricated. Okay, so the first one is Mood Menu. So Mood Menu is basically, if you can't decide what to eat, Mood Menu analyzes your current mood by asking a few questions, and then they recommend nearby restaurants that match your vibe. Whether you're feeling nostalgic, adventurous, or you just want comfort food. Does this sound like a real app, or do you think it just came out of my mind?
TBH, even if it is a real app, this is very grade 3 entrepreneurial class of me if I end up pursuing that.
So you're going to steal my idea then?
Well, I'm not grade 3 anymore.
You just
we
admitted
gotta-
that it was your idea.
So it's
We got
not
legal
real
force
now.
right
I
away.
might be playing with you guys.
But honestly, it sounds like a feature that Zomato could probably incorporate already. You just ask people 4 questions, and since it already has very region-specific lists of places, the places are according to your location, according to your Google location itself. It wouldn't be a far stretch for this to actually be a separate product, but I feel like the big players would have a leg up because they already have the audience base. They just need to incorporate the small feature.
Exactly.
So you don't think it's real then?
No, I don't think it could be a successful startup.
Damn, she valued it and she proved as well. Okay.
So you're on the
Because
on the
there's nothing
stance that-
proprietary about it.
Okay.
Okay, so you think it's fake?
Yeah, I mean, it could be something that existed and failed, but
Yeah.
probably fake.
Okay,
flop,
so
yeah.
fail from her, fail
You
from you
agree?
as well.
I think it's an app.
I think it's real app as well,
Yeah,
myself,
same
because-
with AI out there and everything is an app now. Like anything can
Yeah.
come up. I think this could be
Like everything is
an
like
idea.
ChatGPT rappers at this point.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I mean, it
yeah.
doesn't sound like a
It actually
complicated...
sounds like something ChatGPT would come up
100%.
with.
Exactly,
Yeah.
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 Well,
It's not.
It's not. It's a fake app. But, okay, the second app is called Run P. Let me explain. Okay. This app helps moviegoers know the best time to take a bathroom break during a film without missing crucial plot points. It even gives a summary of what happened while you were gone. Real or fake?
This better
Real.
be real because I'll be so invested.
No, I
Same.
think it's real.
You think it's real?
Yeah.
So real?
It's just ridiculous enough to actually be real. So
Ridiculous? That's such a good idea though.
I love it.
I would say it would be real as well myself.
Yeah? So everyone's real. What do you
Yeah.
think? You jumping on the bandwagon?
no, it's real.
It's real?
Yeah.
It is real. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. I got another one here. It's called Cry Translator. This app claims to decode a baby's cries by analyzing the sound and telling parents if the baby's hungry, tired, or uncomfortable. It's based on sound patterns and is designed to help new parents understand their baby's needs. Personally, that
definitely
just
a good one,
sounds
yeah.
too good to be real. Like, how's
No, I
that
don't
possible?
think that's real. There might be a version out there for animals, like to decode your dog's bark or cat's
But is that
meow.
You don't know whether
But-
it's unique to the baby or unique to the animal. I have no idea whether that's something that's.
I mean,
actually
the tech is definitely out there. Like AI could.
But is it possible to decode?
Well, if that
I wouldn't say this is real though. Like
Not real?
a baby's cry, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think it's real either.
What about you
don't
guys?
think
Not
it's
real?
real.
Not real?
No.
I wouldn't say it's real as well.
None of you think it's real?
Yeah.
It is real.
It's real.
Yeah. Not only is it real, it's a paid app. But when I went on App Store, I checked the first review was I ended up wasting more time trying to figure out the app than calming my baby. So, so it is real. I don't know how real it is. So
And I think a really cool segue from this conversation is I want to talk about even like creating an application, or let's talk about, since we all know early 20s, again, the whole Gen Z theme. Because I've been always like, again, I'll make a segue. I've always been judged by the age. Like I was in the corporate world since the age of 17 years old, right? And the first thing when you're the youngest in the room, they think you're the dumbest in the room as well, sadly, right? And I'm sure you guys are in your own feet. And how prevalent is age bias, or let's call it age racism with you guys? And I want to hear experience as well. Ageism, that's the one, that's the word. Why don't you get something like a story behind it as well, if you guys came across that bit of, I want to hear from all three of you guys, and possibly you as well, Hussein.
So, if you might have not guessed, I'm still 18, and it's very hard to kind of break the ice in terms of when you're having like networking events and stuff like that. So, matter of fact, I usually do not end up telling my age unless it comes up in a conversation, because more or less it's my startup is always seen as like a high school project or like just a project extracurricular on the side. I've actually been in the entrepreneurial space since I was 13. So I started my first venture back when I was 13. So I had, gained these experiences and just realized on the back end of things how much value do people put on your age and like other like demographic part of it is just like for the first 10 minutes. Otherwise, if you have that energy and like the skill set to able to share your ideas, communicate them, and you're solving a real problem, in the long run doesn't really matters. If you do like acquire the skill sets, obviously. But it's obviously like really hard to like have conversations with people like who have like grown up with a very traditional mindset, especially like building something in tech. People do value like sophisticated degree, like like a master's or an MBA, and then you do all that, and then you come back and then you pursue what you love. And it just never made sense to me, because if I have seen a problem and I believe that I have a solution towards it, why not act upon it now when I see like it will be making trajectories of changes towards real people's life? So it's like never makes sense to me, never will.
100%. So the way I tackle it is by telling I lie about my age, because I feel like, if you can't crack it, then you might as well. So for me, I couldn't tell them like +2 of my age. Like whenever someone asked me, at one point I told multiple people different ages, and my colleague went to the HR and asked them my age, and that's what the hell, man. Like I'm lying for a reason. What about you guys? Have you guys had that problem?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Like, so at one point when it comes to events, we have to approach these club managers and stuff like that. So initially when you speak to them, they'll agree and everything, and they start taking things lightly. They're like, oh, this is just a kid. So they won't see the seriousness in what we're trying to do or to follow out the processes. So, we've had to adapt, like I'd You asked me why, if this is new, so I grew this out as well. So this is part of the reason. Like, you
Adds
just
to
look a little
maturity.
older and
Yeah.
speak a little older, like just to seem credible. Otherwise, they might not take you that seriously. And of course, dressing as well. Like, you
100%.
dress a little older.
Carry yourself a little more like better and a little more like in a better standard, I would say. Right? I think
For
that
sure.
I think that speaks volumes more than the age number what you got as well. I think what be your Andal? Like, how do you really maneuver this, or what do you like? How do you tell our audience to kind of adapt to that problem?
Well, as someone who's been, I have one step in two different industries right now. I'm still working as a lawyer, as a legal licensing and compliance officer, but I'm also co-founder of my AI-based startup. And the differences between the industries. So law is a very structured, hierarchical, age defined profession. The format for how we used to be trained as lawyers throughout the decades was, for the first 10 years of your career, you're shadowing a senior lawyer. So you only start gaining any respect in the profession when you're in your mid 30s. So, but that's also a reason why I love Dubai, because I've had opportunities over here. I've had the ability to speak at panels, conduct workshops, get published in publications that I would have never had those opportunities back in India, because
Yeah.
they follow a more hierarchical mindset, and I would have to be at a partner level instead of a associate or senior associate level where I am right now, versus the tech world. So I'm 25. I guess I'm not entering it particularly young, like at 16 or 18. But I don't see that to be a factor anywhere. I see
Really?
some
Okay.
people younger than me. I see some people older than me. I just haven't seen that
Yeah.
be.
See, you know what? To add your point on, I don't blame them as well. I think it's human nature, right? I think
Yeah.
people say don't judge, but let's face it, right? The first thing a person does is judge. It's human nature is almost like ingrained in your head. You see a person, you kind of look at them and understand where they're coming from, what they're about. I think that's not like avoidable.
Yeah.
But I think how we can kind of oversee it is by kind of like carrying yourself with a high standard, or kind of like being around the right community of sorts.
I feel like the way they could discriminate based on your ages, I don't think VCs or anyone that you need any support from would think that your technical concept is lacking, but they would probably feel that your knowledge of business strategy, incorporation of companies, that you don't know how the real world works in that sense. Because we have the stereotype or the portrayal of the genius child, the genius teenager, the college dropout. But I think they doubt whether the people behind these companies have the discipline, the resilience, and the worldly knowledge to make their startup a success.
100%. And I think as young founders, what is something you guys are like finding more? I mean, apart from age, what is something you guys actually find like a actual roadblock? You know, for whether it be ideation, whether it be team building. Team building is a big problem for me, because I think I'm very picky with the people I work with. I think the whole saying, right, you're essentially the average of the people you run with. I think that really matters with the team as well. So what are some of the roadblocks you guys face early on, and what are you guys doing about it as well?
I guess in Dubai, like, okay, now there's a lot of communities that help support you, like
Yeah.
if you're starting off an idea or if you want to do something. But initially, it was difficult to find these communities where people can help each other, help share resources and stuff like that. So I'd say when it comes to communities, that would be a major thing, especially finding the right one that can support you, help you, and find it. It minimizes you making your own mistakes. So having that support team for sure helps a lot.
What were you like?
I think one other like roadblock that we often face is getting us a foot inside the door, just that one particular step, because because we are young, obviously you acquire the skill set, you acquire the knowledge, you acquire the passion, but something you're not able to acquire, and that only happens over the time, is connections and network. And going on to the point of the importance of community, one thing that I'm grateful that I understood that early is how much it matters to have a community of people who are kind of building towards the same vision around you, as well as people who are where aspire to be. And since I was younger, I probably came on LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn and Google are like my best friends, by the way. So I was like a LinkedIn kid. So I got on LinkedIn when I was like 14 years old, and I remember just like cold emailing like random people. Like one of my biggest mentor, she's a product manager at Google UNICEF, and I got her as my mentor because I just like bombarded her with messages like saying that I'm 15 and I really appreciate what you're doing and I would love for you to be my mentor and like learn more from you, to just shadow your work for some reason. And I think even though there are roadblocks that will kind of always set you back, I also do believe there are 100 possible resources right now in the present day and age on the internet, as well as communities. The community I'm part of, Araya, it's like
Shout out Araya, I think.
Shout out
I think maybe we
Araya.
can can talk a little bit about Araya as well, so people out there can know about it as well.
Yes. So actually, the main reason I flew into Dubai was because I was supposed to be part of this home for ambitious builders, which is Araya. It is started by two like very ambitious as well as like a sophisticated knowledge of the startup ecosystem, as well as a passion to support young people with insane vision and moonshot like ambitions. And they sort of provide you with community of young builders, connections of people already in the ecosystem. It could be VCs, it could be angels, it could be founders who are on a more established kind of scenario. And then it's just like, I'm living in a villa with like these other like 10 other builders.
Wow.
And just imagine like me waking up every day and then seeing everyone with such positive energy towards
living
like,
the dream, living the
something.
dream, yeah.
It's like a hacker house of ours.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun to like live with them and like work together and work on the things and support each other when we need it. And not just in the sense like a transaction, but more in the sense even as a founder, it is sometimes you feel so much of uncertainty comes in, especially as a young founder who like decided to take a gap year from her education. That what if I fail and what if like things don't work out? Like these questions always, I'm sure you guys can relate as well, comes off in your mind. And then we have like heart-to-heart chats with people, on your age group, and then we talk about like these roadblocks. It's like it's so heartwarming.
It's a dream come true. Touch wood. I think we're all happy for you. And I think it's a really interesting thing. You put your heart and soul into it because it's something you want to build of your own, right? Because there's of course the extreme amount of time and energy you need to spend on it. If you talk about balance, then I don't think that's possible. Right? There is of course a quotient you'll be dedicating for your baby, for your project. Then of course a little bit of a quotient. It's like it's a scale. You can't have everything at 50-50. I doubt that, right? I think there's always a fluctuation on that. But I try to keep a well-rounded life. I go for dance, so random, right? I go for dance. I go for different stuff like Muay Thai. I try to think of different things out because I think it's very good to kind of learn a lot about different things, and I think there's nothing better than experiencing things to kind of expand your brain horizon. What would be you guys like? What do you guys think of work-life balance, and what's your actual controversial take on it, and not the very diplomatic answer,
No, for sure. Like getting that work-life balance is a challenge by itself, because there are periods of intense work, where you have to sacrifice on a lot of the life, basically. But it's like a delayed gratification, like you're going to be working on this when there's an outcome that's going to happen. Like even right now, for example, I have to skip out on a boys trip. Like the guys have gone to Georgia and stuff.
Man.
So, and I'm like, we have like some projects to work on, so I can't make it. So me and my co-founder
Georgia's a fun
actually
place to
sitting
be,
over here.
man. You should visit them. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, just finding that balance is still a task, and of course you have to make space for things you love. So like you do dance, I do football. Like at least once a week, I need to have that outlet of going for football and just like running, like doing something.
Yeah, what were you, Andal?
Well, I do believe that a work-life balance is important. It's important to rest, to recuperate, set your boundaries, just so that you can work forward and you can move forward. I think it's also important, not just for the mental health well-being aspect of it, but also for your performance as a co-founder, your performance as a human being, to be multidisciplinary.
Yeah.
So that's why having these hobbies, the football, the dancing, it like they could be conversation starters
Yeah.
at a networking event. They're learnings that you learn from probably the discipline of a sport, the creativity of dance, that just allow you to see the world in a different way and connect the thoughts
Yeah.
when it comes to your ideation process and comes to your building. And I think the most innovative and creative ideas that I think any of us would have probably come across in our startups have been when we've stepped away from the problem,
For
when we've
sure.
probably gone out to a party, we were just maybe just drinking with a few friends, or not even that, just discussing your ideas with a different set of people,
Yeah.
with people who have clear eyes. So I think what they call work-life balance is essentially just varied experiences needed to keep you fresh and sharp.
Anupam, what's your outlet then? Like, out of curiosity, like for me, it's dance, for me, it's football. So what's your outlet? That like something, a very bizarre outlet.
Very
What is it for
bizarre.
you?
There's
Doesn't-
definitely a lot of cooking and baking and
Alright,
artistic
cool. Okay.
endeavors, like going to art galleries.
Okay.
I do love going out to just dance and party.
Oh,
I'm
there
a
you
straight
go.
up party girl like that.
There we
I
he runs
have
an
an
events
app for
company.
you.
Yeah.
You should find out about this app.
There we go.
Yeah,
Plug it in.
definitely. Number one.
You
customer
said
base.
cooking. What's your signature dish?
Oh, it's mutton biryani with the roti on top.
Oh, dum biryani.
Dum
Ah,
biryani,
there
exactly.
we go. There we go. Oh, are you
Oh
from
my God.
Hyderabad?
No, I'm from Bangalore.
Oh,
but-
how good can it be then? Because like, okay.
You'll have to taste it.
Yeah,
I'll
there
have to
we go.
make it for everyone.
So Tickt official, we got a next user for you.
Yeah, done.
But what be you? Why? Like, what's your very bizarre outlet at the age of 18 or 19, regardless of the age that is? Yeah.
Yeah. So I really like this activity, or like this thing that I do with my friends is we take Google Maps and we find a random coordinate,
Yeah.
and then we just go to that place. Sometimes it's
Wow.
like a very abandoned.
Wow.
I know.
Wait, you fly to that place?
No, not fly. Like
Oh, within the country.
Within the town.
Oh, okay.
Within the town.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually, because we do it very often.
That could be dangerous, you know.
I know. But like.
That's
you
so
gotta do
cool
it
though.
for
No,
man.
it is.
Like,
It is so
So-
cool. Yeah.
I love doing that because
Yeah.
like it gives like I'm very explorative like that, and
Yeah.
actually like my youngest role model was Dora the Explorer.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
So,
Mine is like Mahatma Gandhi, and I was like, yeah.
No, but we do that, and just find a random coordinate and just drive there,
Yeah.
and just, I have found the best like sunrise views, sunset views from going
Oh,
on random places like
sweet.
that. So
You know what? Why we've all been in Dubai for the longest time. You know what? If there's a cool spot, we'll definitely send it across your way. You know.
you would have to sign an NDA first.
And oh
Yeah.
damn.
You said at 13 you had your first business
Yes.
venture. This is gonna sound embarrassing. At 13, from YouTube, I learned how to tie my laces.
I still don't know how to tie my laces,
thank
so
God.
You can one up on that. Then.
Some redeeming factor. Also, I wanted to ask out of curiosity because we've ventured into businesses a lot. I know that creating your own team is a big part of your success. So, do you guys think gut feeling or intuition plays a part in creating your team, or do you guys strictly focus on facts and figures and how qualified someone is?
No, for sure, gut feeling. At least in terms of hiring, I'd say gut feeling plays a part. Like
Okay.
we could, like my co-founder and I have been on calls and we'd be like we'd interview the entire candidate, like their skills match, everything matches, but we just didn't click the way we needed to click. And we're like, we both are usually on the same page about this. We're like, maybe not this one, you know,
Okay.
and we'll go on because we take our time hiring because we've made mistakes in the past, you know. And we realized that there could be some bottlenecks, some roadblocks. So we want to take our time hiring.
Okay.
Like Aditya said, like you're the average of the five, and that matters. And especially when you're building something together, you want people who share that same vision and drive as you.
Absolutely.
And if that's not there, something's going to slow the team down. So you have to take your time with it, I feel.
I see. What about you guys? What do you guys think?
I totally believe that because I literally met my co-founder because of a strong intuition and gut feeling. So me and my co-founder, we started living together, and that's how we met. Both of us have individual like business ventures going on, and something about felt right towards us complementing each other's skills. So the first week we were just exploring Dubai, and she was more of a like listing down, okay, we're gonna go to this place and like very organizational methods, and I come up with, okay, like let's execute it kind of mindset. And you would have never imagined how that can work in a like professional setting. So this started off very, very personal, and then by the end of the week, I felt a really strong gut feeling towards like we could build something together, and that's how we ended up. So
Because both of them already spoke about hiring, which is something that you very instinctively get a gut feeling for, I'd like to talk about the mistake of relying on your intuition in places where you should be data driven. Like when it comes to KPIs, the key performance indicators of whether your startup, your business is doing well or not, like a lot of startup founders tend to make the mistake of whatever is a higher number, whatever makes the company more impressive, just focus on that. Because I mean, everyone wants to feel like their baby is doing good, and everyone wants to promote it to VCs or just anyone you're talking to. But you might make the mistake of believing that yourself and perhaps ignoring or pushing away certain key problems that you need to look at. When it comes to hiring or deciding who to be a co-founder with, like if you decode intuition for what it is, it's basically your estimated guess based on the life experiences that you've had. So intuition is also very data driven. It's the data of your own experiences. And
Oh, I love that. Intuition
yeah.
is the data of your
Yeah.
experiences.
I
Wise
love
word.
how-
so you don't realize that you're being data driven, but I guess we are all data driven about every
Yeah, we got
decision we
we got
make.
both sides of the coin there. Like we got the positives and the negative, but we do agree that gut feeling does play a part in business in general.
But
like
to always
creating.
check that gut feeling and temper it with at least a logical deduction or reasoning for why you feel that way.
Okay.
It's a balance, right? Like where
Yeah.
you got your gut and you got your a bit of a logical mind as well.
Yeah.
So one last question, because it just came to mind. You guys spoke about your why you coming from India, right? If I'm not wrong, from
Yes.
Bangla, I'm guessing.
No, from north of India.
North of India, amazing. So I just want to ask you guys, I think people our age, I think our audience from the age of 20 to 35, whatever it is, right? So all of them, let's say they're venturing out for masters or they're venturing out to go to a different country altogether. As a kid, when I was in uni, I had this thing where I wanted to go to, let's say, Scotland or something like that. So it's just because I thought, hey, over there's going to be better. The whole grass is greener on the other side concept, right? Do you guys have that feeling, yeah, I need to get out of my hometown and then only I can be something? Or how was it for you guys? Because for me, it's more like I've kind of come to a compromise. I understand that you can build wherever you are. It's up to you to kind of build it. But a certain element of change does bring a lot of impact to you guys. Impact to your journey. I'm really curious for you guys. Do you guys have that moment where shit, I want to be somewhere else?
For sure, I feel like taking a break, like taking a breather from this habit you're in, like you're in the same environment with the same friends, same people around you, same scenery, right? You could get used to adapting this lifestyle as a habit, but taking a break from it, like at least once a year, I do a trip outside of the country, which I want to increase the frequency of, but it's once a year for now. But every time I take it, it's like I come back with a fresh new perspective. It generates ideas that I would not have thought of before. So definitely it's like, it's a way to get inspiration, take a breather from the constant pace and just like take a step back and look at everything you've been doing and you get a new perspective for sure.
What about you guys?
I'd say definitely travel is so important. Actually, last year, this time I was in Bali. I was supposed to go to Bali for 2 weeks. I ended up staying there for 4 months.
Okay.
And I found myself, an internship. I was shadowing this American luxury jewelry designer, John Hardy. And I was working at this place called Green School Bali, which this experience is like such a crucial part of my life now, and I cannot even like portray that in words, because it was my first time traveling somewhere all by myself, and once again I did not knew anyone in Bali back then, so it was all going with the flow. So I, again, huge believer of just going with the flow.
I love that.
So went there, and then all the experiences that I have, the conversations with like peoples, and like for Bali, there's a place, people are like two ends of spectrum and then all scattered below as well. So it's like very nomadic lifestyle, or like people just like for a getaway, and then people with like, believers of mindfulness, meditation, stuff like that. And like I had such beautiful conversations with just like going to the beach and like sitting and talking randomly with people. So I do believe that travel is super important because the experiences that you get and the conversations that you have with people around really shape you as a person.
Think when it comes to travel, I agree with both of you. I feel like my travel experiences have extremely enriched my entire journey as a person, not just startup related, but just my entire growth that led me to come to this moment. So in my final year
Yeah.
of law school, I remember writing this international technology law essay
Okay.
organized by this by an institution called ECC-EDU,
Okay.
and I won first place in that competition. And the prize was 100% scholarship to their summer school and a paralegalship on the side. And this was located in Prague.
Okay. Wow.
So I did the summer school for 2 months, the paralegalship for 4 months, and used the rest of the 6 months to travel around Europe with my Schengen visa.
Okay. Okay.
It was a bunch of 5 nights in Budapest and then
Wow.
1 week in Amsterdam. There was a lot of backpacking, a lot of being on the fly, and like a huge amount of varied experiences that I still look back to and feel like I want to recreate at some point.
Imagine.
But I feel like if I didn't have I feel like the main takeaway from all of that was to be comfortable with discomfort and to just be used to being in situations where I'm out of my comfort zone. And I feel like that has really enriched me when it's come to my career and the career decisions that I've made. I feel like I made choices that other people my age would be too scared, or they would feel like they're not at the level to even try and approach or conceive of.
Yeah.
And those travel experiences let me be comfortable in those
Expand your horizon
uncomfortable-
as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I want to take a few steps back because we were talking about gut feeling and intuition. I want to test your gut feeling. So I have a segment here. It's called Tycoon or Troublemaker. So in this segment, I'll show you a photo of a tech entrepreneur and I'll show you a photo of a criminal side by side. So the challenge is to guess who's who based solely on your gut instinct. Okay? So we got two people here. So one of them is the founder of McAfee antivirus software, and the other is the mastermind behind one of the largest Ponzi schemes in history. So just based on your gut feeling, who do you think is the tech entrepreneur?
I think he's too happy to be a tech entrepreneur. He's probably not.
The guy on the right is an entrepreneur. You said
Yeah.
McAfee?
Yeah, McAfee.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think the guy on the right.
You know what? Just for the sake of, I think the guy with sunglasses is the entrepreneur.
Well, he is John McAfee. He created McAfee
There we go.
antivirus in 1987. Today, it's the most popular cybersecurity software designed to protect devices from viruses, malware, etc., etc. So it's okay. We're just getting warmed up. So another one here is, so one of them is the founder of Groupon, and the other one is a fraudster who exploited vulnerable people to make.
Why
a
are
crazy
all of
amount
them
of
so
money.
happy?
Maybe that could be an indication. Maybe life of crime might not be so bad. Who knows, yeah. So, but what do you guys think?
I would say the fraudster is the guy on the left. I don't
So
know.
you think
I
the-
just feel like
Yeah,
he
the
has a
fraudster is
bit of a
the
smirk, like gives me he's up to something.
It's very, very like.
I think the opposite. though.
Same. I think the opposite. I think this guy is the founder of Groupon.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he is the founder of Groupon.
There we go.
He's the founder of Groupon.
Look at that smoke. The smoke never lies, a smile never lies.
Okay, the last one. This one's a little crazy. One of them is the co-founder of Netflix, and the other one is a convicted sex trafficker. So who's who?
The woman on the left, she's the convicted.
She's a
So
sex
you think
trafficker.
he's a
Oh, wait, she's in law, by the way. So what did we say? I'm pretty sure she knows all.
I feel like she's Jeffrey. This is Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Dahmer?
Is she's the woman from
Jeffrey
From
Dahmer?
Jeffrey Epstein's.
no I
Yeah?
think so.
Wow.
I don't know.
I'm not-
There's Lamer in the back, like she looks like she was in Dubai.
No, I'm sure the woman.
So you think it's a woman? You think
Yeah.
the woman is a convicted sex
I'm gonna go with
trafficker?
the not obvious answer. So
What about you?
Yeah,
guys?
that's my
Yeah,
my
that's my
strategy. But
reasoning.
I've been getting everything wrong so
Same.
far.
We both have been getting.
Okay, what about both of you? Who co-founded Netflix?
I would say the lady in the left seemed like a fraud. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's the
I believe
fake
that
straight
because
hand.
there are not many women in tech.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah,
So you
the
think-
statistically speaking.
You had to be the stats into this,
So
didn't
there
you?
are more women as convicted sex offenders than there would be women in tech.
That's could be a stat, and
Wow.
that's very sad, by the way.
That's a
Yeah.
bizarre stat, but you
Yeah.
are right.
Yeah.
That's a sex trafficker.
Oh, okay.
That's Reed
Maxwell
Hastings.
something.
How do you know this? Is
It's a
she?
famous case.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
But he's Reed Hastings. He co-founded
Yeah.
Netflix, so I don't need to explain Netflix to you guys.
Yeah.
But
Honestly, he looked innocent. He looks like my grandfather.
But I'm
We never know.
disappointed.
Most of them
Yeah.
looked innocent though.
Both are innocent.
Yeah, most of them looked innocent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks deceiving, man, I'm telling you.
It is.
But
Yeah.
I think since we're coming to the end of the round table, sadly, I feel like time flies when you talk for some reason, man. Or maybe I just talk a lot. So going back to you guys, I'd love to if you guys could break it down to the camera, whichever camera you guys feel comfortable looking at. What do you do? Break it down. What do you do for a living right now? Like I'm a 5-year-old, and tell the camera what your vision looks like the next 5 to 10 years, starting with Danny.
Okay, what I do is I'm solving an issue in the event space. There seems to be a gap, and I feel like our product and our company can genuinely solve this issue. In the next 5 years,
10, 5, 20, whatever it is.
we're looking at something global, where we take this not just in UAE and Dubai. This is like our testing ground, and we push this to something global.
Amazing. Why?
You know that really sweet feeling that you get when everything you're doing a super tedious task and everything seems to come along really well. That's flow state. So I'm the co-founder of Nirvana, and we are inducing and sustaining flow states in individuals. We do that with 2 of our suite of product components. One is a software and one is a hardware. Our software is an application that includes different exercises as well as gamified activities that you can do, as well as find community of people that are locking in and getting into their flow state and making concentration and focus possible for you. And we also have a future hardware component, which is a headphone, a cooler headphone, which helps you get into flow state by using alpha, beta, and gamma rays and affecting your P1, P2, and frontal lobes. And it gets you thriving, it gets you get your work done, it get your shit done.
Well, hopefully the 5-year-old knows what alpha, beta, and all that. No, but it's really an interesting pitch. What were you, Andal? All yours.
So I'm a technology lawyer who's building Tracey. What Tracey essentially does is, if you have a little bit of information about someone, such as their Instagram ID or their email address, you input it in a very user-friendly interface, and it helps you identify who the person is, and it automates the connection process either through an AI automated phone call, or through sending an email, a WhatsApp message, or scheduling a Google Meet, for example. It has multiple use cases, such as helping someone research on perhaps the best restaurant in the city for Chinese food and automating the booking or reservation process. People can use it for sales calls. You can actually use Tracey to find out information about your crush from their Instagram page and figure out the best place to take them out for a date. It's just Tracey is for particular industries, but Tracey is also for everyone.
Love that. And your 5-year plan, or like 5-year vision, I would say.
To build Tracey into a household name, just like we used to say, let's Google it, and we say, let's chat GPT it. Now I want people to say, let's just Tracey it.
Oh, no, that's pretty interesting. And I think we come to the end of the segment. I think, guys, it was really interesting having you guys on for our little bit of a roundtable. Again, the idea is to kind of create a hub out in our community, and purely one thing is to enable young leaders, especially the think tank segment, enable Gen Z leaders, enable them to go out their way and make things happen. More than anything, facilitate connections, meet like-minded people, and just have a chat. That's it. Literally, that's it. And I think that's something I've longed for the longest time. And I think, like you said, why LinkedIn is my best friend, because I want to meet people so bad, so I have to do it. But I think these setups are amazing for it. And just one last thing I want to get: if you guys have to one takeaway from your experience of what has worked for you in your journey, just one takeaway, what has worked for you. It can be personalized.
All right, when it comes to being a tech entrepreneur or having an idea or pursuing something, I'd say there's 3 major components to figure out, like why you're doing what you're doing, what you're trying to achieve, and how you're going to go about it. Once you have these 3 things figured out, the rest will just fall into place. That's what I've learned.
Why?
I'd say find your tribe, find your group of people, as leverage the already existing platforms, and just find your people, as well as don't be afraid to sound dumb. You might not have, like, for example, earlier I used to have a lot of reservation towards speaking at certain forums or speaking to certain people in just like being scared of sounding dumb and not having enough information or facts to back up my statements. But I'd say that the more you'll have conversation, the more you talk to people, you will have change of opinions, you'll have more opinions. So it's always important to leverage connections and communication with people.
100%. Off to you, Andal.
Well, I think probably the number one takeaway I'd like to give people is make sure that you have the problem you're trying to solve first, and don't just come up with an idea and then think that this is going to be the target audience, because that's a mistake a lot of startup founders make, and they create a product that people probably like or they want but nobody needs, and it doesn't become a sellable product at the end of the day. Also, start as soon as you can. Even if you don't have all the resources, you barely have funding, it's not the right time, because there'll never be the exact
100%.
right
Exactly.
time. Make mistakes and reduce the period that you take to recover, not just in practical ways, but emotionally also. Build up your resilience, because the entire journey is full of,
Long haul.
falling down, breaking your
Yeah.
knee,
100%.
healing your knee, and getting back on the
Yeah.
track.
Also, the best day to start something was yesterday, and
Yes.
the second best day is today. So
Yep.
yeah,
There
to
we
start
go.
off.
If no one has said that, then we can quote why on that,
One last question is, I think a lot of the viewers who watch this podcast will think or will be discouraged to start a tech business in Dubai, because the myth is that it requires a lot of capital. So one last say on what do you think about it? Because all of you are venturing out into it. So do you think that's a hindrance, like large capital, when it comes to starting a business?
So we struggle initially because of lack of capital, but I'd say the best thing if you don't have access to capital is to educate yourself, learn, because there's a lot of no-code tools out there.
Okay.
There's a lot of free tools available online, and there's a lot of people who are in the direction that you want to go, and they can mentor you and tell you to avoid mistakes which you'd make if you did it yourself. So I'd say learn it. If you can't afford it, learn it yourself and try to execute it yourself. Because it's not impossible to learn a new skill. I believe everybody can learn something new at any stage in their life.
Also, to add on to that point, I'll just add on that when you're especially in such early stage of your startup, people don't believe in your idea, people believe in you. So if you are acquired with the skill set, and you are acquired with like making things possible, and people know that you will make things possible, everything will fall into place.
If you don't have your own funds, try startup accelerators, try incubators. There are a lot of programs in Dubai, a lot of them just recently. Araya is something that Y and I have joined, and it provides a community and some sort of infrastructural support. And we have a demo day, which should ideally give us some funding.
Shout out December 6th.
Definitely.
But
So there are a lot of opportunities. Just prepare to capitalize on them. You don't need to have your own funding already.
perfect. So guys, I think that was beautifully said, Andal. I think it was a good conversation from childhood dreams to what do you guys wanted to be in your whole 5-year, 10-year plan and whatnot. I think it was a really interesting conversation get to know you guys for a span of 1 hour, but it felt like a longer time. Nonetheless, guys, this is episode 2 of Think Tank in specific. You guys want to catch us out, you'll see us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. We'll be posting our clips, snippets, and whatnot. We'll definitely be kind of putting out job opportunities as well in the end of every week. So stay tuned for that. We're partnered with a couple of job providing companies where essentially we'll be tagging in right on the description of any post or any content we make, because that's the whole point of build your own brand. Let's enable young leaders, enable people who want to jump in the workforce. Thank you guys for tuning in episode 2. Thank you guys for taking your time.
Thank you for having us, man.
And we'll definitely do something soon. All right, guys. Cheers. Thank you.
Take care.